I'm live. Well, hello, everybody. Thank you for coming to our live stream. It is really awesome to be here. I have to say, I love doing these live streams. It's really fun to have guests. And we have a special guest, who's still coming. Why? Because we're having a program about new church music. And Alan Cowley and I have been talking about new church music for maybe the last 4 months with the idea of trying to get together a presentation about it so that we can share a little bit about what he's doing with his composition and some of his ways into into the scene. The problem is Alan on his way here forgot his guitar, so he had to run back and get it. And he is now just walking into the building and hopefully sprinting up to my office where we will be able. There he is. Come on in, Alan. Watch out for the cords. Don't trip over anything. And just come on over here. Bring the guitar over here because you're going to need it.
Pull it out of the case here real quick.
Oh, okay. Well, while he's doing that, I wanted to give a reflection that I had about new church music. And creating music is just like creating any kind of art form, and you could think of painting. I love to do watercolor painting. It's more static than music, and it's got a different feel to it. But that's been kind of my thing for the last 10 years. There's sculpture, there's woodworking, there's all kinds of. Well, hello, Alan. Welcome.
Hi, Dave. Good to see you. So sorry
I'm so
about
glad
my,
you're here. Don't
my
worry about it.
gaffe.
But I want to finish this thought because I
Yes.
think it's important.
It is.
And I think of all the of all the art genres, music stands out a little bit differently, especially when we're looking in well, what the word says about music. Like
Yeah.
it really features music in a different way. You read in New Church Theology, for example, about art. You're going to see music, 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 music. And then you might see something about sculpture, and that might be in a bad light. And then it goes back to music, 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 music. And the reason I pull that out is, well, music it's a big part of heavenly life. Like that is something that is really living and active in daily life in heaven. And of course, as an offshoot, I think it is an active part of the way we worship. Well, why is that? And maybe you just want to jump in with your thoughts about why that would be. But it's really something I think cool to think about.
Oh, my first instinct is just to say it touches our hearts in a way that very few things do. That word resonance makes a lot of sense. Something that resonates with us. You actually feel music, not just in the vibrations, but I think in our spirit. It's amazing how just a few notes put in the right order can actually cause me to go to tears. Like just like certain ways that certain things happen, and you just go, "Whoa, how did that cause an emotion?" It strikes a chord with us. We say those things all the time.
Yeah, I've seen paintings. I've been like to Amsterdam to see the masters, incredible works of art, and I love those. And there have been times when I've been moved to tears by a painting.
Yeah.
But my wife Avon and we listened to a song on Spotify yesterday that had some meaning for us because it was connected with a close friend who passed away. And we bawled the entire time, and it's like, well, music triggers those emotions. It ties in with the emotions.
You
like
might see me
else.
get stuck in even some of the songs that I've penned, and I'll put it that way because a lot of the times I don't feel like they're necessarily the product of me. But sometimes I'll be singing lyrics that came through me and like they strike me in a different way. And while I'm singing, I'll be like, oh, I never thought of that lyric that way. And it's an interesting thing that even though it is a song that, I think of, I construct this thing or I put these words together or it somehow comes through a channel or whatever, it can have meaning that you don't even know when you're writing it.
Yeah, that's really cool. So I have one other reflection, and then maybe we kick into like a couple questions. But um, my reflection is really what. Oh, I'll just tie it in as a question. What is new church music? And I guess the
Mm,
reflection that I will tie in is we have a history in our church of I don't know 100 and almost 100 uh, 180 years, something like that, where we have had some incredible
mm,
musicians involved in the church. And we today have world-class musicians
absolutely.
that have not only tied up and maybe joined the church or grown up in this environment and used the faith to articulate music, but have really like changed the whole genre. They have had that kind of effect. So like I am very humble when it comes to thinking about music. I'm sure you are too. The only way I could approach the subject,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of really interesting, I think, insights that could be out there. Um, so, question for me is just this simple, basic question. Well, in your mind, what is new church music?
Yeah. Um, so to separate it from other kinds of music,
Yeah.
but probably most specifically, if we were to put new church music into a category of Christian music, what would distinguish it from that? I think would be a useful starting point. And I wouldn't say distinguish as in separating itself, but
Right.
as in I find that new church artists and musicians, the work that they do has an awareness of a deeper meaning in scripture that is almost encoded in the lyrics, in the way
Mm-hmm.
that the music is felt and played, if that even makes sense. So if it's an instrumental, I feel like there's even that spirit that comes through in the way things are written.
Yeah.
It's a spirit that I think comes from that profound teaching that this whole book, the Word, has a deeper meaning, and then that meaning is about our lives and it's about the Lord. And so, with that concept, scriptural stuff, even some harsh scriptures can become really beautiful songs.
Yeah.
And I've heard some that are just, some of the harshest scriptures in the prophets that I would go, I don't know how you'd make a fun song about that, but I've heard some amazing songs done by like Chelsea Rose Odner. She has
Mm-hmm.
some that are direct lines from the prophets, and you go, yeah, that's a hard song in some ways to listen to if you really see what the lyrics are saying. But when you back up and go, what's the deeper meaning here? This is a liberation from the
Mm-hmm.
Lord, and how powerful that is.
Well,
Um,
I have to point out just a reflection that you trigger for me,
yeah.
which is like when I was in seminary, one thing I learned is the entire Old Testament is written to be sung. It is the entire thing is a song, the whole
Mm,
thing from the beginning to the end. And so, and especially, of course, the Psalms,
yeah.
they're all songs, but you, people memorize the scriptures by singing them.
Mm.
And so, well, I mean, that
That's
fits right
perfect.
in,
It
doesn't it?
does. Absolutely does. Yeah.
That's really cool. So, so like I think over the last 10 years, like I've known you longer than 10 years, but over the last 10 years, you have occasionally created songs.
Mhm.
You've played songs for me. I've watched you play songs in church that you've composed. And I'm just wondering about your creative disciplines. Like, what kind of songs do you like? Where do you go when you're thinking of making songs?
Oh
Is it
wow, that's
anywhere or?
that's changed a lot over the years. When I first started composing, if we want to use that word composing, I don't write little dots on papers at all. So
Yeah.
if that's what is coming to mind with composing music, that's not what I do.
Making music? I
Making
don't
music,
know.
yeah. Um,
Of
I
course, so
think
it's the Lord, isn't it?
when I really started writing music and feeling like I need to keep doing this, because when I was younger, I wrote a lot of what I would call corny love songs, and I was always embarrassed to play them. And so that became this like sticking point for me. Like every song I wrote was this sappy love song. I'm never playing this for anybody. But I was pastoring in the church in England at Michael
Yeah.
Church in London, and I had a train trip in every day. And one morning I was going in, just reading the word on the train and reading the song or psalm, "Bless the Lord, O my soul, and forget not all his benefits."
Yeah.
And just a little refrain started going through my head. And when I
Mm-hmm.
got to the church, I went, "Let me pick up my guitar."
Okay.
And a few minutes later, the song existed, and I put it out on Facebook as a, "Hey, this was fun." It just kind of happened. I didn't write this song, and it wasn't a sappy love song. Kind
Yeah.
of was, but it was about the Lord.
Well, I was hoping to hear a few sappy
Yeah,
love songs from you, but I'm wondering if you have that "Bless the Lord,
I
O my
do.
soul" in your head, and you could demo that for us.
Yeah. Now, of course, my tardiness means get a little tuning in here.
Yeah, we enjoy it too. Into guitar.
The tuning song is always everybody's fan favorite. Oh, that would be a useful thing to plug in too. Yeah.
All right.
Here we go.
Thank you. And hello, everybody who's joined us. I see
Yeah.
a couple of comments.
Good to
We're
see
really
everybody.
glad to have you here. You can type in any comment you want or any question. I can actually see it off to the side where somebody can flag it for me. We have Heath doing the production here, which I am so grateful for. And we have a special guest hiding in the back.
So, my mom was a guitar player.
And your grandpa.
And my grandpa, this is my grandpa's beautiful guitar. It's not a Gibson Dove, it's a Cortez. He was a factory man, couldn't afford the Gibsons. But I was lucky enough to inherit this after he passed away. This is played at many church camps, Laurel Camp to be specific.
It's in beautiful shape.
And so, anyways, the finger picking style comes mostly from my mother, and Grandpa did a little bit of it. But this is a song called "Bless the Lord, O my soul." Bless the Lord, O my soul. Forget not all his benefits. Bless the Lord, O my soul. Forget not all his benefits. Who crowns us all with loving kindness. Who satisfies and unveils our blindness. Oh, bless the Lord, O my soul. Forget not all his benefits. His mercy will last forever on all those who fear him, and his righteousness to children's children. Bless the Lord, O my soul. Forget not all his benefits. Bless the Lord, O my soul. Forget not all his benefits. That's the abbreviated version. There's another verse or so.
Well, that was worth the subway fare. I mean, that was really, really awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I can hear the applause. I think we actually have an applause button back there.
Oh,
somewhere.
nice. Make
But that's really, really fantastic.
So I would say that when I initially started writing songs,
Yeah.
that one, I got a very positive reaction from people just saying how much it got stuck in their heads and just was a positive, peaceful refrain that was with them.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're pastoring out in the middle of somewhere, sometimes you have to figure out, well, what am I supposed to do today? And there's lots of things to do, but one of the things I decided to do with my Wednesday mornings was I'm going to write a new song every Wednesday morning.
Wow.
And I'm not allowed to start before then, and I have to post it by lunch.
Wow.
And for 9 weeks, that worked. 9
No
weeks in a
kidding.
row, I was able to write a new song and post it. And it was strange how things that I would have never, thought of in terms of music, like how certain things came that I would have never thought I could even play, just happened mostly, I think, because I was doing this from the Word. I would find scriptures or important messages that I felt were there, and I just allow that to sit with me. And the Lord seems to just come through that spirit of wanting to serve in whatever way you can.
So can you tell us something about what that creative process has been like for you? Or maybe go back to those times, those Wednesday mornings. You're sitting down, okay, I got 4 hours. How do I start? Like what were the steps that you kind of went through?
It was different each time. Sometimes it'd have a melody, just kind of the guitar kind of part floating around, and I'd then just go sit and read in the Psalms for a while or read in the Gospels for a while. And then a certain line might pop out and fit with that melody. Sometimes it would be a theme like, I wrote a song about repentance, which was looking at the theme of, 4 main steps in repentance, where it's the recognition and acknowledgement, the turning to the Lord in prayer, then the stopping of the actual bad stuff, and then the beginning of new life. So I went, oh, that's a 4-verse song. And so I started structuring that based on those ideas, come up with verses, and then, well, what's the feeling? And then I would put that to music. So that's one way. And then people would go, oh, that's a cool theme. And somebody then suggested, I would love to see one on conjugal love. So I started thinking, well, what would that look like? And so then I started thinking, how would I write a song about conjugal love? And turned a little bit more personal. I had to write a little bit about myself and my wife, hopefully.
That does not sound like a sappy love song, by the way.
It's a bit sappy, but I love it. And it's not one I'm embarrassed to play.
Oh, cool.
Would you like to hear that one?
I would like to hear it. Yeah, I think maybe this is a good time.
Let me double check my tuning. We're acclimating to a room.
Take your time.
So I'd say that a lot of the music that I've written has come out in different types of things. Some are very scriptural, and you won't see much outside of that. Some are thematic, based on new church concepts. And then some are much more personal application. Like, so thinking about how does the Lord and his word affect people in real life? And so that's kind of the last category we'll get to. But this is what I would consider a thematic song. So this is about conjugal love, but put into the form of a love song.
Cool.
Yeah. So this is one that I would say the lyrics are very symbolic. Each verse, I'd say, it has a little bit of symbolism about looking to the Lord in marriage, as well as just the imagery of staring, at your beautiful wife. So it's not just that beautiful image; it's the symbolism that goes with it.
Yeah.
Let me breathe a second. Oh, sunny day, your eyes gaze gently toward the rays. A breeze blows through your hair, such beauty I can't look away. Thank God every minute for every day. Oh, years go by,
strife and pain I can't deny. But there's one thing we've learned, that there's no quitting love for life. Thank God every minute for my wife. Two souls we were at first, converging paths traversed, walking side by side, hand in hand with the Lord our guide. True hearts are purified, seeing life through each other's eyes. Well, I am yours, you are mine, and in the end one angel will rise. Oh, in this life our bodies age we can't deny. Cast off this mortal shell, in us eternal love will fly. Fly into the springtime of our life. Two souls we were at first, converging paths traversed, walking side by side, hand in hand with the Lord our guide. Two hearts are purified, seeing life through each other's eyes. Well, I am yours, you are mine, and in the end one angel will rise. Oh, sunny day, your eyes gaze gently toward the race. A breeze blows through your hair, such beauty I can't look away. Thank God every minute for every day.
Oh man,
Thank you.
yeah, that is not a sappy love song. And it's deep and wonderful, and it reaches
Thank you.
reaches into the next life. I love it. It was just so cool.
It was
Wow.
one of those ones that just, the Beatles talked a lot about how they didn't write their songs. They were like, you're a channel when you're writing music. I think when you're really invested in it, it's a spiritual thing. It's an experience that you have. And I find that my process mostly, even though there are mechanisms of trying to make myself, it's mostly get out of the way and let the spirit come through.
I remember John Lennon said, when he was asked, how do you write music? And he said, tell the truth and make it rhyme.
Tell the truth and make it rhyme.
Stuck with me. But I see Ethan on the screen here is asking the question, talk about the feelings behind the music. What are your feelings? How do your feelings drive music? What's the relationship? I want to get into that a little more too.
Well, I think feelings both are expressed through music. So a lot of the time that's what it's tapping into. What are the feelings that are inside, and how am I getting them out there? But what's interesting is that once they're out there, I think that we feel those feelings differently, because it's just like if you're journaling about things, you put it down on paper, somehow when you look at it afterwards, it has a different effect on you.
Yeah.
And so what I find fascinating about music, especially in my own therapeutic use of it, is writing something it more fully expresses something. You're trying to say something both with the sound and the words. And when you can get that out in a way that means something, not just to yourself, but seems to have an effect on others, it then returns, it almost solves the issues that you're dealing with. That's my experience of it is writing a song almost solves the problem. A problem shared is cut in half kind of idea.
So let me give it a reflection. So as I said, I paint watercolor.
Yeah.
And I noticed when I paint a portrait, so you go in, and I have a picture of a person that I'm going to paint, and I may know that person.
Yeah.
And do a drawing, and then start painting the painting, and then all of a sudden there's this human being that is looking at me from the paper, and it's this startling feeling that I have, that I have this feeling from this personality that's on the paper, and it's not an exact replication of the person that I know. So if I painted you, I would be not feeling, oh well, that's Alan Cowley. I would feel Alan Cowleyness in it, but there's something else that's like coming out of the paper at me, and it's like there are these other feelings that I didn't know were there. And that to me has been very profound when I've been painting. I wonder if you have that similar experience.
Absolutely. And how I've expressed it is thinking of the joy that God must have in creating things, because he is this awesome creator. That's the first thing that he is to me, is he's created us. And so when I get to create something, whether it's music, I love painting as well. I'm not a portrait artist, but occasionally when I draw a landscape or paint a landscape and I go, that actually kind of looks like a landscape and it has a feeling to it. There's this sense of, oh, I get to co-create my own existence with the Lord. How cool is that? And we get to experience some of that same joy that I think the Lord has in creating us. When we get to make something from ourselves, we go, oh, that's what the Lord feels when he makes us. When we do good things, because the Lord's creating that through us. In fact, the Lord is going, man, cool.
That is a really, really cool reflection, and makes you want to go in a slightly different direction in my questioning. So I wanted to ask, so tell me about the God stuff. We don't know, like, is there God stuff here? But what is, in your opinion, the God stuff or the angel stuff? Like you just sang this beautiful song about Conjugal love. It's beautiful. What's the God stuff in there? Where's that? Like, just tell me about that.
So, and when I was thinking of those words, the Lord is the sun there. So when I'm in that, so it's a sunny day, thinking about the Lord just basking down on us. Your eyes gaze gently towards the rays is thinking about looking at my spouse and their appreciation of the Lord. And the breeze blowing through the hair has to do with the change that impact of the Lord on our external life, the hair being the externals. So there's an effect of the Lord's love and wisdom on our lives that's what draws us into that deep form of love. It's not just the physical beauty, though I think my wife is absolutely gorgeous. It's also that inner beauty that we want to tap into, and that the most deep source is, of course, the Lord. So that gazing towards the rays is us leaning in towards the Lord, and that was a big part of where that song came out of, is that imagery right there. The chorus was something that just came out of nowhere. It was really strange when that just came up. I was just writing the song, and then it went into it, and the words were there and everything. It was just a strange thing. Two paths converging was such a strange line. How it rhymed, I don't know. Yeah.
It sounds almost like you have like this intellectual thing that's going on, and then, well, two paths, intellectual and maybe affectional, coming simultaneously or something. I don't know. Does that resonate with you or?
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
and there's challenges in life and marriage too, and those paths coming together. There's the line of so we're walking side by side, hand in hand with the Lord our guide.
yeah.
But two hearts are purified, seeing life through each other's eyes. That's such an interesting thought, and it's very much, I think part of what marriage is that we're our best mirror for our partner, and we're most hopefully in a trusting relationship. You can have that space where I can hear my wife helping me become a better person, and
Mm-hmm.
she can hopefully hear me helping her become a better person, where it's not threatening, but we're seeing our own flaws through each other
Mm-hmm.
and getting better and better each day.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so you're telling me about the song, and I feel like we're on sacred ground here a little bit. It's the way I feel, and so that feels really precious. And but the Lord gave you that, or or
Yeah.
or something. And what was that? Is it a birthing process? I don't know. Well, what is?
Yeah, the birthing process is a long one. I think that it's not actually born until I let go of it, in a way, until I play it publicly and
Oh.
kind of let it go. It's still something I'm holding on to and not willing to share. And so it's like I need to let my music out. That's the birth side of it, is actually sharing it with the world. Until then, it's just in utero, so to speak.
Wow. Yeah. What about ego?
That's the part that I have to get out of the way.
Yeah. Well, is that a
I had a
wrestling or?
deal. No, I had a deal with the Lord when I was coming into theological school, or getting ready to be ordained as a minister. I was in a band, and we were writing some good music. I went, Lord, if that's what you want, I'll happily be famous for 5 years. I actually was like, that would be pretty cool to have a band really, really go. But I'm going to come back to this if that's the plan. I'll come back to ministry however you want to do it. He didn't make us famous. So I figured ministry was very much what I was born to do. And I feel that strongly. And I've loved how music has been a companion to that throughout my ministry, whether it's in England working with the band out there. So I would love to share some about other musicians that are new church artists that maybe others don't know about. Can we side tangent?
We
for
can
a
take
second?
a little tangent. Yeah, let's do it.
So a little tangent. Moving to London, England, I wasn't expecting it to be kind of so diverse of a place. It's Brixton is Jamaican, West African, Portuguese, and then British. So you've got all of these people mixed in. And so we were trying to do a little worship band service once a month. And my friend Terry, who is a member of the church, heard one of the songs I was doing, and he's like, "That's a reggae song." He was a Jamaican guy. So him, and then his wife Carol, who is a jazz and reggae singer. They are phenomenal. So he was like, "You got to come back. We're going to record that song." So we did. We went back to his upstairs in his little room, and he produced a pretty cool song. I wish I had the recording for that still. I need to find it. But Carol has an amazing story of her own. She goes by Amaziah. If you want to look up her music on YouTube or Spotify or Apple Music. But she found the writings as an adult, having read Heaven and Hell. It was kind of a gift to her. I think it was on a coffee table, and said, "What's this?" And the friend said, "Go ahead and take it." She was wondering, why aren't there churches that teach this?
Yeah.
Happens to go pick up her daughter from a dance class that's next door to Michael Church. She's been taking her daughter to this dance class for years.
Cool.
Holding Heaven and Hell and going, why aren't churches teaching this? And looks up, oh, Swedenborg. So anyways, she has a lot of really beautiful songs that are heavily inspired by the writings and her coming to learn about the faith.
Fantastic.
And
Hey,
a completely
Heath, can
different
you
genre.
just type Amaziah into the chat bar so we have it logged in there?
That one for me.
Amaziah.
Thank you.
And if that was Ethan McCardle, that was the
Ethan's
one.
there.
Yeah, he knows
There
her.
it is.
Yes, he says it. So grateful for that. Yeah, they are amazing musicians. So anyways, that was a group I got to play with over there for a while. We kind of formed a little worship band, and then we did something similar in Florida, and I got to play with Devin Heinrichs, who is a phenomenal saxophone player.
Oh, wow.
He's a professional musician. He also teaches music. My friend Tony down there is a trumpet player and a keyboardist.
Oh, man.
Also an amazing musician. You know, we have so many musicians in our church that I think if we really invested a little bit of time to discover them and share that music around, we'd find there's a lot more inspirational stuff than we're aware of.
Yeah, well, let's come back to that in a little bit because oh, look at that! He looked up Amaziah on Google, which is quite cool. Thank you for that. But so getting back into the creative process a little bit, could you comment on? Wanted to get in a little bit to different moods of music and what feelings are that, like, maybe you just feel called to articulate, and the difference between music that might be like uplifting and really uplifting your soul, and other music that might be contemplative or maybe even challenging.
Yeah.
Or like I'm feeling like my soul has been ripped into two pieces, you know.
There's
If you've ever had those feelings.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And I need a song like that. But anyway, comment, please.
I'll comment and then I'll play a song with it. A lot of my music comes out of that space of confusion, of the places of darkness that we get into, and trying to figure everything out. This is a crazy world. So I guess I'm going to play one that's a bit more on the secular feel, but it definitely, the chorus is all about crying out to God. It's got two different background feelings. One is my own challenges dealing with alcoholism, which thank God I've been sober for more than 5.5 years now. But thinking about the depths of that place where I really couldn't believe that I would be able to not want to drink. And that was a hurdle that was so hard. It was a falsity. And I've now several years of not wanting a drink, but I couldn't believe that I could not want it. And that's an interesting space to be in, where it's like, I want to quit. I've giving everything I can, and yet this feeling of it won't let go of me. And so there's that space that it comes out of. But then there's also, it's tied in a little bit to, I have a lot of friends who would say, if I were to step foot in your church, it would probably catch on fire, or I'd be struck down by lightning. And it's that place of feeling so shameful that you don't think God would accept you back. So that's the background for this song that I'll share. It's actually, is it my most recent song? It's my second to most recent song that I've written.
Okay.
So much more modern in the feel.
Take away this destructive life. I wanna hold your hand, walk dry but I can't stand. I pray for grace to wash my eyes, and for mercy's face to hear my cry. It must have been one of those days where the sun rose behind the clouds, still hung up in all the same ways, but searching for something to turn these lows to highs. And so I'm crying out for you, 'cause there is something I can do. I'm desperate for the strength to move. I'm sorry that I'm falling and my mistakes are calling. Please help my heart be renewed.
Wow. Wow. That ripped my heart out.
Ripped mine out.
Oh, man.
And
Yeah.
then it came back and it was flesh. It was good.
Fantastic, man. That, oh my goodness. Yeah, so there are different moods you've been willing to explore. Yeah, well, tell
Yeah.
us a little more about the song.
So the sneaky little bit from the beginning to the end is that the lyrics in the first verse and the lyrics in the second verse are almost identical, with the difference being you don't think the sun is even rising in the first verse, whereas the last one, it's rising behind the clouds, and there's an acknowledgement of that. You're still hung up in all the same exact ways, but instead of thinking there's nowhere to go, you've got a solution.
Yeah.
And that solution is the same thing. It's crying out to God, as it was when you didn't think you had a solution. But now when there's a little bit of oh, I know actually God comes through
Yeah.
when I pray. And to share a bit of my experience with AA meetings and being in the rooms there, it's profound to see when people know and come to learn the power of prayer. Because a lot of people who are trying to get sober are in a place where they don't know the Lord at all, oftentimes, or that prayer is effective. And to kind of push away that idea, because it seems so silly at times that asking what for help is going to actually help. But after, when somebody's ready and they repeatedly hear, when you're ready and you drop to your knees and really pray to the Lord for help, he's going to help you.
Yeah, so you're not talking about like cocktail napkin prayers. You're
No.
talking about like prayer, like I need this.
This is life or death. And it really is in many cases. And that's just the reality of addiction. It destroys life.
Yeah, so going with my heart here a little bit, how does loss show up here in your music and your creativity, if I may?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of if I have any songs that are specifically about loss. There's one that gets close, and that's my newest song, so I'll happily share it. It's more recognizing that loss is possible. It's also another love song, and it's written from the perspective of watching somebody who's very ill and you're not certain whether they're going to come through or not. And that experience of having complete powerlessness over whether or not your loved one is going to live or pass away. And that's a scary, scary thing. What was interesting in this song as I was writing it was a sense of handing that over to the Lord is the most useful way to deal with that, because we can't do anything. And yet, in the lyrics, I hope that it comes through that regardless of what the result is, that bond doesn't change. And that line is, whether you end up here or in heaven, I'll follow you back home.
Oh.
So, you want to share that soon, or would you rather talk a little bit more before we get to that?
Well, are you ready to share it? We could share it.
I can share it.
Yeah.
I'll give a little bit more background as and a dedication, actually. So part of this, feelings-wise, comes out of my experience with watching my wife deal with cancer treatments.
Yeah.
And that was one of the hardest things I've had to go through. She's here and she's alive, thank God. I didn't have to follow her home to the other world yet. I will do that eventually. But I was thinking of my friends Greg and Cara, and Cara was dealing with a stroke, and it was just a very scary time. And I was just thinking about them and loving them, and in that prayerful state, this is the song that kind of came up, and I would play it each day. It's just a way of thinking about them and praying for them.
Oh, wow.
And it's a song called "A Trail of Stardust." And if I cry through the song, I'm sorry. I'll do my
How about
best.
if I cry?
All right. Make sure I got some tuning. This is a bit more folk style.
There's a trail of stardust left behind you. You probably don't know it's even there, but it leads me on in loving kindness, makes me want to be a better man. So keep on shining so brightly, this world could never contain your glow. But please stay here in my arms beside me, 'cause in life and death you're all I know. Well, all these years I've watched you with our children, amazed by all the love you bear. And when I see your smile upon their faces, I recall just how lucky I am. 'Cause there's a trail stardust left behind you. You probably don't know it's even there, but it leads me on in loving kindness, makes me want to be a better man. So keep on shining so brightly, this world could never contain your glow. But please stay here in my arms beside me, 'cause in life and death you're all I know. Now I don't want to think about your absence. These dreary days praying feels so slow, and I know that you'll wake up here or in heaven, and when you do, I'll follow you back home. 'Cause there's a trail of stardust left behind you. You probably don't know it's even there, but it leads me on in loving kindness, makes me want to be a better man. Shining so brightly, this world could never contain your glow. But please stay here in my arms beside me, beside me. 'Cause in life and death you're all I know. Oh yes, in life and death you're all I know.
Wow.
I love you.
So that's recent. That's only, I don't know, a month
It's a
old
month
or
old
something.
song. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. Wow. So creative. And uh, all right, so let's just say I have just learned how to play the guitar.
Yeah.
And I come to Alan. Alan, I want to start writing my own music. And I'd like to be like articulating something that's like in the genre, this new church. I'd like to contribute to this. What do I do? Where do I start? How do I do this?
What message do you have to share?
All right, well, that's getting serious.
That's what it's about to me. I mean, you can't really write something without a message to share. I would say focus on your experience. What's something that you enjoy that you want to write about? What's something that's uplifting that you might share with a friend? What is a problem that you've gotten through with the Lord? What's a psalm maybe that inspires you? Just any of those things that touch your heart where you go, oh, well, there's a message that came to me that mattered.
Yeah.
So if I put this back out, it might matter to somebody else. And it might matter the packaging that I put around it.
Well, how do I find some of that packaging then? Because like I might have the message, and I can think of lots of inspirational.
What if I don't know, Dave?
What?
What if I don't know?
Uh,
Practice?
I don't
know. I just picked up a guitar when I was about 12, 13. And because my mom played, I think, and I liked Nirvana. I wanted to learn how to play Nirvana and Pearl Jam and Alice in Chains. I was a grunge kid. Metal and grunge is what I learned on. I think I started playing like Fade to Black, Metallica.
But you didn't grow up in the Northwest.
I just played as much as I could and with as many people as I could play with. Playing with other people is the most inspirational thing, probably. If I had to know an answer, it's other people.
Interesting.
I have always felt in many ways like an imposter of a musician because I don't read music, because I can follow a little bit in the liturgy. It took me a long time to be able to just like go, the key of C would have these chords in it. And I'm still struggling on that. And I don't solo. So a lot of what I learn is just from playing with other people and watching them and seeing how they do it and going, oh, how did you do that? And asking them to show me.
Well, it just brings up this little idea. Like I think about like the music structure that is on your guitar was manufactured, and it is you have intervals that are coming that are they're accepted throughout the Western world. Like you go to China and the intervals are different. It's a very different kind of music. So we're used to those tones and how the tones relate to each other and how they build chords and stuff, and it feels good, it feels right. But I was thinking in terms of new church music, well, all of that stuff is pre-packaged and laid on the table. New church music isn't, oh, well, make your own key signature, or it could be, like I know a new church composer who's very avant-garde in Sweden. And Tommy Haglund is his name, and you can look him up on the internet. But he writes this modern classical music where he's using different kinds of intervals and things like that. It's very, very, very fascinating, and I'd love to get him on the show too. but you're putting it into all this stuff that already existed, and I'm just wondering if you had any thoughts about that.
Yeah, well, some say there's no new chord structures in existence,
Mm-hmm.
but it's amazing how much variety you can get out of um, a scale, or you talk about the different intervals. It's interesting. Like there are a lot of people who are starting to like add little partial frets to have those
Wow.
half steps in
Yeah,
between to create those different tones. And it is interesting how we've become accustomed to a certain set of notes as being what rings true to our ear. But yeah, especially in the Middle East and over in India, you get other tones that are just completely shifted.
It's very different. Yeah.
And thinking about that with how does that tie into affections that the writings talk about? Every truth is only grabs onto what's an affection in a person.
Yeah.
What affects us, and thinking about the variety of how the Lord's truth affects us. There's different scales, I imagine.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, I can't believe we're already like almost at the top of the hour.
Are we really?
Unbelievably. Yeah. There's so much more to talk about. Crazy. And so, but I mean, because you had mentioned this before, how do we help other people who want to do this? I want to wind up on that thought.
Yeah.
So,
number one, support your local musicians. Like going to see them.
Yeah.
Modern era, something is funny about local music. I go to a lot of open mics, and it's amazing how many good musicians are out there with very few people to watch them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, because in many ways the industry has changed. It was a musician-friendly industry where musicians actually would make a decent amount off of a tour or selling a concert.
Yeah.
Nowadays, they're maybe getting 2 or 3% of a concert date. Like that's it.
Oh wow.
So that's one big thing. Is it seems like the industry has very much started telling us these are the famous people that you're allowed to listen to and buy tickets for. If we get local, there are so many talented people just right here in this area that I'm just blown away by. And we just kind of go about our lives and don't think about how talented they actually are, how much we could be affected by that music around us. I think that's number one, is just when there's shows, try to make them.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. It means a lot too, to actually have people come listen to your music.
Yeah.
I think that's number one. Number two would be trying to find music, ask. Especially if after this conversation, you've heard there are lots of new church musicians out there, and I'm happy to list a few.
Yeah.
But there might be more that I just don't know yet. There are probably a million more.
I know there are tons of them. Incredibly
talented people around. But the ones that I feel like I've been most directly affected by, and going back through a little bit of history, go back to England, you have C.J. Whittington, who was commissioned by the church to write psalmodies. And there is a whole book that we used to have in our old...
We have
the back of the old liturgy for a while was a bunch of those psalms, and it's kind of shrunk. There's still probably 20 songs by Whittington in that in our modern liturgy, and those were all written back in the late 1900s. And you got people like the Child Sisters, Heather, and
early 1900s.
Yeah.
18.
Oh, sorry, 1890s. 1890s. Yeah.
Child Sisters. Sorry.
Child Sister. You've got Heather and Karen. They do so many wonderful songs. Karen in particular has an amazing knack for putting scripture to music. And she's done hundreds of recitation songs. And if you're unaware of those as a parent in the new church, it is phenomenal. It's phenomenal how much you can learn songs and hand motions that she's put to them. It's just a beautiful thing to see things like that.
Lori and John
are great.
I think of Shane Smith out in
Mm-hmm.
Colorado. I think of Jonathan Rose and his
Jonathan
whole
Rose.
family,
Yeah, his
and
daughter
anybody who
Chelsea.
has a Rose name relation.
I'll make a specific plug for Chelsea Odner's album, Confident Hope.
Hmm.
Going back to when I was getting sober, that album for me was really, really powerful. It was something I could
cool.
turn on in the car and it made me feel close to the Lord. And it was just one of those albums for me that I'll listen to it over and over and never
It'd be
get tired.
nice to have that as a toolkit kind of thing for
Yeah.
people. Like, I know I can get help for my grief by going here. Or, yeah, thank you. Thank you. Well, we're at the top of the hour. I want to say thank you so much, my friend. I
Yeah.
am blessed beyond
Happy to be
belief
here.
to have you here. It was so much more compelling and wonderful. So, you know, you brought a little bit of the Lord and his angels into this space. I'm really, really grateful. So thank you for that.
Thank you for having me, Dave. And
All right. Come back
Yeah.
again. Let's talk more.
yeah, happy to.
All right.
Thanks for joining us,
See ya.
everybody.
All right.